Welcome back, Internet. I am the COG, griping about pop culture one franchise at a time, and Disney has stirred up a whole bunch of crap, casting Halle Bailey as the new Ariel for the live-action Little Mermaid remake. Everybody's up in arms over her race. Halle Bailey is not white, she doesn't have red hair, and this is counter to the source material, and a whole bunch of people are upset about it. It's like their world is breaking apart because of it. Well, her race is not the real problem, people. No. The problem is the fact that they're remaking The Little Mermaid in the first place. They're remaking all of their animated movies as live-action films, and while on the surface that seems like a nice idea, the movie-making technology is there to give good live-action renditions of these animated characters. I'm not going to argue that, but everything is being remade. We are in a creative, stagnant loop. We just keep circling back, going back to the well for stuff that's already been done, and in the process of being remade, not replicating the stuff very well in most cases. I just did a quick looking back for things that have been remade, in recent memory. It took me 30 seconds to come up with a list. The Lion King being remade, or coming out soon, Beauty and the Beast, Aladdin, Dumbo, Jungle Book, Death Wish, Flatliners, A Nightmare on Elm Street, Poltergeist, Pet Sematary, Cinderella, Ben-Hur, Child's Play, Evil Dead, RoboCop, Fant 4 Stick, and Conan the Barbarian, to name just a few, with very little effort. New characters, new stories, we're just relying on remakes and reboots. Once in a while, something interesting will get made that's a new spin, a little different take on classic material. Maleficent is probably a good example. Not the greatest of movies, but a shift in perspective in the telling of Sleeping Beauty. If we're going to go back and revisit previous material, things like that, maybe. But don't do it just for the sake of doing it and cashing in on the previous material. Let's take some chances. And let's not pander to diversity and representation. Basically, nobody believes that this was a random casting for this role of an actress that is the best for the part alone. 10, 15 years ago, if this was done, doing a live-action remake, casting Halle Bailey, living in a different environment at that time where diversity and representation and inclusivity were not under the microscope as they are, you could probably get away without much backlash. People might kind of squint, think about it, and be like, what? Really? And then wait for it to come out and see if it works. Back then you could do that. Nowadays you can't, because the automatic assumption is it's diversity pandering. But this is where Disney is missing the mark with this. Sure, they are being a little bit more diverse, casting this role with a different race actress other than, from what the original character was. And I want to point out that for purposes of this story, the character of Ariel isn't locked as a Caucasian. The character and the story is not dependent on her being a red-headed white mermaid. I just want to say that up front. So you could do this if it's not pandering and maybe have it work. But if you're going to do it, if you're going to pander to diversity, then Disney, you better be checking off all the boxes, because if you leave something out, then somebody else is going to get pissed. Then in a couple of years, you're going to do another remake pandering to some other representation. So, this is how the live-action remake should go, and we'll cover all the bases. So we start off with Halle Bailey as Ariel, and the story can be pretty much the same. But here's where we start to check off the boxes. When Ariel makes the deal with Ursula to become a human for 3 days, and Ursula takes her voice. Ursula also changes Ariel into a different non-Caucasian white dude that's mute. And this dude has to convince Caucasian Prince Eric, or get him to fall in love with the new non-white dude that can't talk. So you got white Prince Eric, the object of Ariel's affections, but Ariel is now a dude that can't talk. So in the end, Prince Eric decides that he's gay, and they get together. And then the tragic part is when Ariel gets changed back and becomes a woman again. Then that, I don't know, it could be a tragic ending, or maybe they could drive off into the sunset, live happily ever after, and Prince Eric realizes that he's gender fluid or something. That's the only way you're going to cover all the bases in this one movie, in my opinion. But to be clear, like I said, the problem is the remake in the first place. Stop. Disney, stop. Everybody else that's remaking something that's been remade in recent memory, stop. And let's try something new. J.J. Abrams, you should have learned that lesson with episode 7. Shouldn't have remade episode 4 badly in episode 7. I just want to throw that in there. So let me know in a comment below what you think of my assessment of remakes. I'm sure most people are going to agree. They just need to stop. Just stop. Even if fewer movies come out while we come up with something new, that's fine. Just try something different. Let me know if you agree in a comment below, if you have another opinion, or even if you have any comments on, my plot idea for the new, diverse, and inclusive live-action Little Mermaid remake. Let me know in a comment below. Thanks for watching. I am the COG, and I am out.